The other big story, of course, is Kotak Mahindra Bank. The RBI has stopped Kotak Mahindra Bank from onboarding new customers through its online and mobile banking channels. It's also asked it to stop issuing fresh credit cards. This comes after the RBI cited concerns over Kotak Bank's compliance and risk management practices. Let's take this forward. Abizer Diwanji is partner and national leader, financial services at EY India. Abizer, good to have you with us here. Good morning. Thanks very much for your time. Another one. Just your thoughts, and how is this different from, what we've seen in terms of actions from the RBI? Say, for example, the last big one was the HDFC Bank one, but we've had so many others in the interim. Go on.
So, one thing I liked about this is that in this one, RBI has come out with a 1.5-page document, as against what I saw earlier, were 2 liners saying, in exercise of our powers, somebody can't do this and somebody can't do that. So the good part is this time RBI has come out much more clearer as to what it believes the issues are and has taken responsibility for enumerating those issues. And I think, again, the issue remains the same. There's no change that's happening overnight. IT is a big part of the banking industry now. And as banks transform to be more and more technology savvy, we are going to see newer processes. And the regulator is likely to have issues with those newer processes. And there is a ongoing process where we try and rectify them, remediate them. So I think this is part of that. It's extended to banks beyond just NBFCs earlier or the tech companies like Paytm. It's extended beyond. HDFC was one of them, which was earlier also told to rectify processes. But one important thing one needs to understand is that the industry, the banking industry, is transforming to a more tech-based platform. And if that is happening, I think the regulator should work concurrently with the banks to make sure that they also upgrade themselves onto what are the acceptable policies and processes that will be there going forward. That's more important. I would not like to comment on whether the regulator has correctly or incorrectly banned, but I would like to say one thing. Now that the regulator has come out with more enumerated reasons for why it has done, if it were to be more specific and come out with more specific reasons, and then tell all the other banks who are yet to be inspected that if we find the same issues with you, the consequences will be really bad. That is how they will bring about systemic change in process, rather than singling out a particular entity.
I had 2 questions in this, Abizer. Hi, good morning, and thanks for joining us. One, why is RBI so worried about the digital space, right? What seems to be the primary concern there? And 2, it's very obvious that now with what they've done with Kotak Bank, this will affect growth in the medium term. So how can they ensure that growth is not hindered, but at the same time, guardrails are put in place?
Okay, so 2 separate questions. One is for the regulator. Why is the regulator so skeptical?
Yeah.
First of all, Sonia, any change will bring about skepticism. So that is quite acceptable, whether it is from the regulator side or from the bank side. What is important is that with every skepticism and every remediation, both sides need to show confidence that the system is changing towards a more tech-oriented platform, and those tech-oriented platforms will define newer processes. What's also happening, and what's important, is that initially there will be teething troubles everywhere. There will be customer complaints, there will be stoppages, but those are part of a learning process. That will be slightly more a proactive way or a more better way of looking at it, to say how we can improve our processes going forward. There will be stumbles. Whoever are the leaders in the technology are going to be paving the way for a smoother highway for the future that has to come. So that should be the intent. And I think that is the intent of the RBI as well as of the banks. So constructively working together and remediating is the best answer. Second issue is what you asked,
on growth.
Around growth. See, now, very frankly, as long as if you have issues like Paytm, where the licenses are completely cancelled, there is no question of it. But where you are looking at temporary stoppages till procedures are sorted out, I think there is also an ability for a bank to sit back and reflect as to what are the issues that are happening. And frankly, decide which customers it wants to service better, which customers it maybe doesn't want to service and they were incorrectly taken on. So I think there is going to be a rationalization in how banks will perform. And I think that is going to lead to a better performance. Just give it a quarter of a, breather, I would say. But thereafter, you will actually see more superior performance. We've seen that in HDFC. And we will see it, I think, in other banks that have been through a similar process.
All right. Hi, Abizer. Good morning. And thanks a lot for joining in. Well, what about how long do you expect things to get sorted out? I think for HDFC Bank, it took around 15 months or thereabouts. The street will look ahead. They'll want to know what could the potential timelines be in. What would your best guesstimate be?
Tough. That'll be tough. But I think what would happen is that, immediately you will see some results when a rationalization of customer bases happen. That result is immediate, because you will see that the focus is on better, more reliable, more compliant customers will go up. This is not a stoppage of activity. So I think that the customer productivity on that will keep going up. Newer customer additions may see a setback, and it may take, 1 or 2 quarters, for example, for banks to rectify that. I would actually say that if a bank said that they can remediate everything in 15 days, then that would be a fake remediation in my view. So if it takes actually a good 6 months to 8 months to rectify it, I think that's a fair time frame to get back on track.
All right. Abizer, good conversation as always. Thank you very much. And thanks for that perspective. Useful as always. Thank you. Well, that's Kotak Bank, and we will continue to get you more perspective through the course of the day on that important story. But